everybody, it's Joe the Big Nerdy Biker. Big Nerdy Biker on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, everything there. It's going to be a nice day out. I'm going to go visit my girlfriend. She lives just a little bit outside of Milwaukee, about an hour away from me. It's a nice ride. I'll be able to get some scenery porn to put up on the YouTube today with some videos. Maybe find a nice place, an interesting place to stop and grab a lunch on the way up there, so I could have some of that stuff to talk about as well. My girlfriend, she's been stuck taking care of her parents for, well, I should say stuck. She's been taking care of her parents for a long time, but it's been an extreme bit for the last month. She hasn't been able to get out the house much. We haven't seen each other a lot because she doesn't drive and I work weird hours, so it's been rough seeing each other. So today I'm gonna make sure I get up there, put in some time. But what really makes her great, besides giant chesticles, is that she loves to fish as much, if not more, than I do. She loves fishing. She loves motorcycles. She loves all the things I love as much, or just about as much as I do. Not the nerdy stuff so much, but all the fishing, the motorcycles, the guns, stuff like that. She's very into all that. Very corn bread, up there. So that's great. Although she'd never been to a Cracker Barrel until I took her to a Cracker Barrel. Can you believe that? Who doesn't go to Cracker Barrel, right? I mean, greatest restaurant in the United States. Another great thing, she loves fishing, and she lives on a well-stocked pond. So we were talking last night. She's like, "Hey, you want to come up, do some fishing today? Hang out so we can spend some time together." Because she has to be close to home. Because again, taking care of her parents, and her parents are just in a spot right at the moment. So so she lives on a pond. I'm gonna go out there. We're gonna do some fishing. Before we go, I'm gonna go through some recent fishing hauls, and prepare to get prepared to head up there. While Ava, my baby Ava, her medicine and food are cooking, so she can eat while I take a shower before I scoot. I take my tackle around in a backpack. I got 3 rods lined up ready to go. The little rods I usually take with me when I jump out on the bike. I got my Shakespeare ultralight spinner. It's just a cheap one from their Ready to Catch series. I love this rod. I wish I could get a little further cast out of it, but I love this rod. It's just a thing of beauty. I love fishing light and ultralight. Got my Zebco medium light spinner. I believe it's a slingshot series. It's a nice little spinning rod. It was cheap. If it gets broken, I'm not going to be heartbroken. So that's why it's part of my motorcycle selection. And then I got this this is my favorite rod. As much as I love that it's Shakespeare ultralight, which I also have that in a spin caster as well. But my favorite rod is this old crappie stick from the 80s. There's a lot of nostalgia involved in why it's one of my favorites. It has this loose bait caster reel I put on it. That pole used to belong to my sister. That was like her first, real fishing pole when she graduated from the Barbie poles. She had it for a couple of years, and I wanted it because it used to be like a 7-foot pole. It's like 6'2" now, but it used to be like a 7-foot pole. I mean, it used to be when I was a kid. I was like, I want this pole. It's a giant pole, and so I bought it from her. And then my parents got mad at me for buying the pole from her, taking advantage of her, and I didn't take advantage of her. I paid her good market value, and they made me give it back to her, and I didn't get my money back. Then, like 2 years later, I bought it from her again. I didn't buy it from her again. I traded her a spinning rod for that with the old Zebco rust out spin cast reel on it. And it wasn't rust out, but you know what I'm talking about. We always think they're rusted, but they're not rusty. They're just Zebco reels. They are what they are. You know what I'm talking about. The one that's about the size of my fist now. When I was a kid, it was like the size of my head. But I love that rod and reel. I had some troubles with it last time I went out. I'm hoping for better days on it. On that reel. That reel was just just out of control bird's nest. And I know, I thought it was operator error, but man, I don't know. Just, I took out another bait caster afterwards and didn't have operator error, so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to take Old Yeller behind the tree, behind the garage, but you know, it was not a good last outing with that reel. But I love that rod and reel combo. I love that rod out of nostalgia, because I've been fishing that rod for 30 years, maybe 35. So, you know, I'm gonna blame, you know, if anything's gonna go off of that, it's gonna be the reel. So I have 2 main trays that stay in that bag all the time. So I've got that. I've got those. And I have a little, I call it my grab bag of soft bodies. This is a selection of just different odds and ends worms. You know, I got salamanders in here. I got worms. I got different colors. I got little goby looking guys. I got just a selection of, you know, I keep this Ziploc in there because you never know what you're gonna need. You know what you're gonna need, but you know, sometimes, man, you know, you just like, you try something out the box and you get surprised. So, but yeah, so I keep that in there. These 2 boxes, these 2 trays stay in there at all times. Filled with assorted crankbaits and stuff like that. Couple of swim baits. 1 box is mostly jigs and soft body stuff. The other box is mostly crankbaits. I just got that monster bass. I did the review on it the other day. I'm going to use the monster bass bag for what it's meant for. I'm going to use this as a supplement bag. So all the crankbaits and stuff, they stay there. They're there for all time. That's just what they're all there for. This is what these trays are for. This is the good all-purpose I got something bag boxes, right? So those are always good to go. But I'm going to use this monster bass bag that I got the other day, and this is what I'm going to take my my supplement stuff, the stuff that that are specific for today. As I go through the haul from the last couple of shipping things are going to go into my bucket extras. For now, things will eventually get fed into the Plano tackle box back there. I got the Plano 777 tackle box. I use that as my bait station. Like if I'm going fishing where I'm taking my truck, I'll bring the 777 with me, leave it in the truck. That way I have access to it, to everything, or most things. So yeah, but I'm going to stock up my monster bass bag before I go. I have to restock my frogs. I love these frogs, right? These El Cheapo Amazon frogs. I just bought 2 more sets from Amazon, because when me and the girlfriend went out fishing the other day, first of all, I was having these pike just hit these things. They were exploding on them, but I only caught 1 pike on them, but they were exploding on these things all day long. So, you know, like I fell in love. Gary Wright Dreamweaver hit. I'm like, and I was immediately erect. So I was like, yeah, I love these frogs. I love them because the feet. I got one out of the package from the other day when I was talking with the monster bass. The feet, they spin like they're like little buzz baits. And yeah, I love these things. They stay on the surface, and they're cheap as hell. So we lost a couple of them because we were fishing in a very weedy place with a lot of debris. My line snapped on me, on a cast, so I lost a frog. It just was like goodbye. But yeah. So I'm going to throw a couple of those frogs back in here to stock this back up, because I really love. Yeah, it's going to be mostly clear out today. Mostly clear, mid-80s, clearish water. It's a decent sized pond, but by no means a lake. So we're going to go out there. We're going to bring Natural Looks pumpkin seed. another natural look. So I'm going to go through the haul. I'm not going to bore you as I paw through the haul, and I will show you what I put into the Monster Bass bag. I already have a frog rigged up on my bait caster, one of these propeller frogs. I'm gonna run a Ned rig today. I've not run a Ned rig previous. Not officially known as a Ned rig. I mean, I've used the little ball head jigs with a worm, similar to how they're talking about the Ned rigs, but I've actually got the proper, and that was before there was a name to it. I've got the proper Ned head jig. I've got the proper Ned head bait. So I'm gonna set up the ultralight spinner for Ned heads. Before I split out of here, I'm gonna get it tied up, and then I'll show you what I got in the supplement bag before I split. We'll circle back then. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Actually, I think Ava's food is ready, so I'm gonna go get her food down so she can start eating before I jump in the shower. I will be right back. Okay, so I chose the baits I was going to use today while I'm out. The supplements, got them up here in the Monster Bass bag. Really like the bag for doing this. So from July 21st, Monster Bass, I got that the Blitz Lures Buzz Frog. I actually took the cheap Amazon frog off of my bait caster and put the Buzz Frog on because I want to see it work. And I know if I get to the lake and I already have the Amazon frog on there, I'm just going to run with the Amazon frog. And I want to see this Buzz Frog in action. I want to see how its feet move. I'm probably not going to get a lot of video while I'm fishing, because I'm actually going to be fishing with my girlfriend's nephew as well. And there's a thing with kids and video on YouTube. I saw skimming something, and I don't know what the deal is, and I don't want to take a chance in having a violation, and I don't want to, I don't want issues. But yeah, so I got the Blitz Lures Buzz Frog already on there and rigged. I've got the Big Bite pumpkin pepper skirted grub with me. I was really looking forward to using those. They're not going to be the first thing I put on. The first thing I put on is going to be the X Zone Ned Zone pumpkin blue flakes that came the other day, on the Super K Ned head jigs that came. So I got to tell you about these Super K Ned head jigs. These things are sharp. I was tying it on, and after I tied it on, I'm going about my business. I looked down and I got blood on my hands. I poked myself with the hook. I mean, I knew I just, it's a fish hook. I stick myself all the time, but I looked down and so I got blood on my finger, and like it had gotten on a couple things because I was grabbing things. I was like, oh, I'm bleeding. So high hopes on these guys. Also grabbed some old Berkley power bait that I've been sitting on for forever. Like I say, I buy soft baits. I don't use them a lot. That's why my supplement right now is soft bait heavy. So I gotta start fishing more soft baits. I grabbed some old Berkley power bait 3-inch power jig worms and pumpkin seed. They look very similar to the worms that are being used for Ned rigging now. And then I grabbed some old as hell Berkley power tails. I mean, I'll show you this. I've had to have this bag of Berkley power tails since I was in junior high, I would imagine. I mean, God, I can't even imagine how old these are. I've had these for forever. But yeah, so I grabbed those two to supplement. Also, picked up the cigars for the ride because I'm gonna be taking the bike up, so I'm gonna have a couple cigars. I got my cigars in my cigar case. I've got the Camacho Check 6. I won't lie to you, I love these Camacho. I love Camacho cigars. Love them. I really like the Check 6s. This cigar has been sitting in the case for a little bit. It's probably dried out. It's probably not going to taste the best but it's not because of Camacho. It's because I was an irresponsible cigar smoker, and I just don't want to put it through the cycle to get it back up there. And an Oliva G series. Haven't had this one before. I know Oliva makes really good cigars. They're the parent brand for Nub, and I love Nubs. So, looking forward to that. Probably have one on the way up, have one on the way back. I got everything all together now. And, you know, I'll see you once I get the bike loaded up and I'm starting to roll. Alright guys, I'm back home. I got back in about midnight. My brain is taking a weird turn. That's weird. Whenever I got home about midnight, puppies were just about ready to explode. They were home for quite a while. I didn't take any fishing videos. We were fishing with my girlfriend's nephew, and I didn't want to get him in the videos, but I do have a couple of pictures. Not a lot. Just cumbersome dealing, with the kid running around and taking pictures and stuff like that. Just would have been difficult because we were fishing in a small area. I did get some riding videos though on the way up and on the way back. On the way up, I ended up not stopping anywhere to eat. Like I said, I was going to try to find some place cool to eat. I ended up grabbing a sandwich at the gas station, eating at my girlfriend's house. The Camacho Check 6 was a little dry like I expected it to be because it had been left out in my air, but it was still right at my alley like it always is. As far as fishing goes, I caught a few dinks on some trawlers. The girlfriend and her nephew were doing fun on crawlers as well. We all ended up switching over to artificials because we got sick of catching dinks. There's some good fish in that pond, but decided to switch over to art. We all switched to different artificial. That Blitz Lures Buzz Frog, I've got a couple hits on it. Nothing hit where I could set the hook on it, but that thing does have great action. It's 2 feet. They paddle really nice, and they make a bloop bloop sound that you can hear outside of the water. I was actually fishing, and the girlfriend's nephew heard my frog, and he's like, "What's that noise?" I was like, "That's my lure. That's the appeal to it." There was a couple shots taken at. We were also the girlfriend put on the propeller frog on her line, and she had a couple taps at it too. But again, nothing grabbed them enough that those hooks were going to get through the weedless body and get to them. But still, not terrible. The Ned rig was a complete fail. That pond was just far weedier than I thought it was, and you just couldn't fish it. Just couldn't fish it that way. I actually tried re-rigging it to a weedless version, but still, just so many weeds that it was not worth it. We did catch a couple big fish though. We had a sunfish that just was not going to be able to survive catching and releasing. Trying to get when we went to dig a hook out, got a little too aggressive, and he wouldn't make it over time. So I cut the tail off and gave the tail to the girlfriend's nephew to use as bait. I put him out of his misery and used the rest of them. I had 3 snelled hooks, 3 Eagle Claw 1/0 snelled hooks in it under a bobber, because it started off with just 1 hook, but it was getting grabbed, but the hook wasn't getting. So I put a couple extra hooks in it, and then I caught a pretty big bullhead. I would guess a 3 to 4, 3 pound, maybe a 4 pound bullhead. I mean, it was a big bullhead. And I caught this big bluegill. I mean, maybe the biggest bluegill I ever caught on this sunfish, and it was hooked in the mouth, and it was hooked in the head. It like got lobotomized. It was crazy. After fishing for a little bit, took my girl out for a ride because we haven't seen each other much, you know. So it's broke away, so we could be just the two of us for a while. It's just a place in Waukesha called Jimmy's Grotto for some fried panzerata. Not panzerotti, panzerata. And so yeah, sure, I'm up for whatever. So we took the run up there, but it closed over an hour earlier than Google said it was supposed to be. And there's sign in the window. So that was a fail. So we went to this place up the road, not too far. It's called the Plaza Mexican Family Restaurant in Waukesha. I liked it. Got a chimichanga. Chimichanga was okay. It wasn't the best Mexican food I've ever had, but it was okay. That chimichanga though, man, it was cheesy, and I liked that. That was great. That it was super cheesy. It had cheese leaking out of it and congealing as I was eating it. That was pretty sweet. I also liked the salsas they had. The little chip, you know, the table salsa when you sit down and they bring you the chips and stuff out. And they brought out 2 squeeze bottles of salsa, and that was just really good salsa. It was all the table salsa, the table bowl salsa for the chips was you know, like was a salsa rojo. I mean, it was just a normal what you expect for table salsa. And then there was 2 green salsa, two salsa verdes, but they were good as well. They were very. After dinner, it was getting late. I had to get home to the puppies because I'd been out for quite a while. My dogs are really good at being home alone for a long time. I get a little bit of guilt, and I try to keep them on something close to a schedule. But for dinner, I dropped her off. I headed out. The Oliva Series G cigar was good. Not the best, but far from the worst cigar I've ever had. You know, I do prefer that Camacho still. Construction-wise, though, on the cigar, the cap and the wrap didn't do too well. The cap kind of gave a little bit, which allowed the wrap to give a little bit. I did guillotine cut it with a pretty good cutter, but this just may be one of those cigars where a V cut or a punch works better. I prefer a V cut anyhow, but I don't have any nice V cutters to take around with me that I'm not worried are just going to break in my pocket. So I guillotine cut it, or you know, if I knew it was going to be a pain, I should say pain. If I knew it wasn't going to take the cut well, I'd have punch cut it. I would have just used my Leatherman and done my own punch cut. I'll just take the bottle cap opener on there and I'll make a punch cut, or I'll take a key or something and punch cut and do a punch. Yeah, it's a pretty decent cigar. Like I said, not the best, far from the worst. And then yeah, I headed back. I did have my heart drop for a minute there though on my way home. I got rolled up on by an MC. And let me rephrase that a little bit. I had an MC. I'd actually seen them a little bit before that. They were in a parking lot. And I went past them. But I was at a stoplight, and all of a sudden these guys they came whipping up out of nowhere on me. I was at a stoplight, and they boxed me in. I was a little nervous because these guys just came out of nowhere, and you know, they kind of boxed me where I was trapped behind the car in front of me, and then, you know, had the members surround me, and I didn't know what was up. I didn't know if this was malicious. I didn't know, you know, like, you know, I just kind of, I was a little concerned for a moment, and then when the way they positioned too was kind of had me a bit concerned, but you know, because the president actually ended up rolling ice. It was weird because they had their rockers, and then they had their office on their rockers. But I'd never seen this club before, or if I'd seen them, it just never registered. but they were supposed to be from town. You know, their bottom rocker said they're from town. But I was afraid that I was about to get rolled because they came out of nowhere, you know, or they were gonna mess with me or something like that. But once the light changed, they just zipped off on their own. No harm, no foul. You know, I started rolling off the light. I stayed hard right on the lane, and you know they ended up passing me same lane pass, and then you know cutting through around cars and stuff. And like I often will follow a group of riders that you know takes off like that and kind of pace them for a little bit, but not knowing these guys, I was like, I don't know, and I don't know if I was getting checked, you know, when it happened. So, you know, I was like, yeah, I'll just, you know, valor be the, caution being the better side of valor. I kind of let it go. But as soon as I got home, like I said, I was just a couple miles from home. Once I got home, I pulled out my phone, jumped on the internet, checked these guys out. Hindsight, no fear, these guys weren't gonna roll me. These guys weren't checking me or anything like that. They're just a hard riding group of individuals that care about their community. They're no miscreants or anything like that. So I actually messaged them and said, hey, you know, I like the way you guys are riding. If you guys have any, you know, when you guys have events or something, then, you know, give me a shout, because you guys are my neck of the woods, you know. And you know, they were hard riding, because some, you know, so I was like, that would be good. But yeah, it was overall a good day. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you hope you guys do the like, share, and subscribe. You can find me at BigNerdyBiker all over the place. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Linktree, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can find me all over. Thank you. I'll catch you down the road somewhere. Thank you. Bye.